I changed my mind. I love long introductions, particularly if they're done by Lorraine. Thank you so much. That was terrific. I'm delighted to be in Austin. I'm always delighted when I am in Austin. I'm particularly delighted tonight to be here in the name of Mary Alice Davis. She was not only a great journalist, she was a person of great judgment and wisdom, and I know that for a fact, as was stated earlier, because she proved it in a note to me. She wrote me a note saying she watched the NewsHour regularly and said good things about what we do, which proved beyond a shadow of a doubt she was a woman of great judgment and wisdom. I responded to her, and I respond to her tonight by giving this lecture in her name. I want to thank Jim Davis and the entire Davis family, friends and colleagues who have made the Davis Lecture the important event that it has become. I have many Austin and UT connections I would like for all of you to know, right here at the top. My brother Fred graduated from UT in 1954. I remember well his graduation because I graduated at the same time, almost on the same day, from Victoria College, the little junior college down on the Gulf Coast. My mother and dad lived in San Antonio. Neither my brother nor I owned a suit, much less a dark suit. My mother insisted that my brother and I wear dark suits to these things. I don't understand, for the life of me, I cannot remember why. I decided not to call my brother today and ask him, because I know he would remember. But at any rate, what happened was we kept moving the suit around, because all three of us were essentially the same size. And so my brother would wear half of it for one thing, and I would wear half of it for another, and somehow we got one suit, shared three ways, and we got through it all. Exactly how, I'm not sure. One thing about you should know about my brother Fred. He graduated in 1954. He also went into the Marine Corps. All three of us, my dad had been a Marine, my brother was a Marine. My brother was a Marine before I was. He went into the Marine Corps, then he came back and went to UT again to go to law school. And it was while he was in law school, he came back from the Marine Corps and discovered that while the University of Texas was integrated, the First Baptist Church on the drag was not. My brother was a Baptist. He found, he had a friend in the law school who was black, and he took him to morning services one Sunday morning at 11 o'clock, and all hell broke loose, point of phrase. They were asked to leave. The police was called, and there was a big commotion. There was a big press about it. And eventually, not directly the result of that, but indirectly the result of that, it wasn't long after that the Black Baptists of Austin, Texas were allowed to practice their religion with the White Baptists of Austin, Texas. My brother went on to become an ordained minister, which he still is, now retired. He is very proud of what he did in Austin that day, and I remain very proud of him for what he did. Well, he was at UT, you should also know. He worked as a room service waiter at the Stephen F. Austin Hotel. And he loved to tell my brother and my mother and me all the great stories he overheard, because he would go in there at night, with trays of food and drink. And the Stephen F. Austin was a great place for members of the legislature and their associates. And speaking of that, in the 1960s, I was the political writer for the Dallas Times-Herald. Dave McNeely, who was here, was part of our little group of Texas newspaper people who covered politics at the time. And I came to Austin every other year, that's when the legislature met, to cover the legislature. I'll never forget the first time I came. I took it all very seriously. Senate bill this and House bill that and big issue this, and I was just, really very serious. And I just worked day and night to get these things right and all of that. And one of my colleagues, I don't think it was McNeely, it probably was, but one of my colleagues said, Jim, you ought to really relax about it. Texas legislature. There's very little serious stuff going on over there. And he said, why don't you look upon it as a drama critic would look upon a stage play. I took his advice, and I did exactly what he said, and it worked. Another awesome connection. When my brother was at UT, I was at Victoria College, as I said, the junior college down between Houston and Corpus Christi on the Gold Coast. At night, I worked we were all bus people, as Lorraine said. All our family were bus people. My dad managed the bus depot in San Antonio. He was managing the Trailways depot in San Antonio when he died, and worked in the bus business all of his adult life. When I went to Victoria College, I worked in the bus depot in Victoria as a ticket agent, and one of my duties was to call the buses on the PA system. And it is a skill for which, well, let me just demonstrate. Because Austin played a crucial part in this. May I have your attention, please? This is your last call for Continental Trailways, 8:10 p.m. Silverside air conditioned through liner to San Antonio. Now leaving from Lane 1, Berner Street, Thomaston, Cuero, Westcott, Smiley, Nixon, Pandora, Stockdale, Sutherland, Springs, Sayers, Crossroads, and San Antonio. Connecting in San Antonio. New Brownsville, San Marcos, and Austin, all aboard. Don't forget your baggage, please. I also had a huge